Today on DNVR Buffs Live, I think they, meaning maybe everybody, is sleeping on a certain Buffs running back. We discussed that, and also a draft of things that we loved as children. Just to really get the nostalgia flowing today. Let's get it.
Let's go,
squad! Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. It's DNVR Buffs Live. Friday vibes. What's up?
Not much, man. Can't wait to have my first Coors Light of the weekend.
Yep.
I'm thinking about that all day. I have my 15-year high school reunion this Saturday.
Are you going?
I am going.
How does that make you feel, bro?
So washed. But yeah, I'm going. I'm gonna go. A lot of my friends. No, our 10-year was during COVID, so this is the first trip back for a mini. I'm excited.
I'm excited to hear what those are like, because we hear a lot about high school reunions. Or, like, people dread them. Some people look forward to them, but like I don't even know. Like, what do you do? Like,
Uncle RK, just tell us about the high school reunion.
Like, what the hell do? You just go and just sit in the gym and with your old buddies?
One of my friends, classmates. You don't go back to the school.
See, I don't know nothing, clearly. That's what I thought.
That would actually be kind of fun.
Right, you go back to your high school. Like,
these
are our old stomping grounds right here.
No, it's just like at a bar. Everyone just goes and
that's sick.
Gets drunk and tells old stories. One of my friends was like, I don't understand why I would go. Like, I'm just going to be drinking with my friends, which I could do anytime. I was like, yeah, that's why you go.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. So, yep, I'm washed.
Wow.
And you guys fucked up yesterday.
All right, can we explain this then?
I would like to say a couple things about this. Yeah. You can go first, though.
First off, man, this wasn't a ranking of like the most like meaningful, like passionate, cool games. We were literally talking best football games. And the Nebraska game, as you know, it was a blowout. It was close early, but going into that game, they had no chance. That's the most confident I've ever felt going into a game.
Say that.
Yeah, no, I remember your vibes going into that week. So unscarred. I'll give you guys a little bit of a pass there. Chat was snitching on you like
I know,
crazy.
Yeah,
and that's where I would like to insert myself into the conversation here. That whole snitching situation yesterday really rubbed me the wrong way. Really rubbed me the wrong way, and I can pinpoint the ringleader of this snitch movement. He's actually right here on my screen right now, King Mars. DMing folks. I don't know if he actually DM'd you, but tweeting at you. I mean, at least he told us at the gate he was going to snitch on us.
He did.
But that performance you put on yesterday, Mars, I got to tell you, bro, you in the meatloafer section right now with Wayne Morgan. You have been relegated to the meatloafer section. It's y'all two, Wayne and King Mars. That's a room you don't want to be in. The snitching coalition, the meatloafers coalition. That's not where you want to be. But that's where you at right now, Mars. And for the whole Nebraska thing, any vitriol pointed at us for not including Nebraska in that, I think all of that should just be directed at Jake. Simply.
Oh,
whoa. I ain't gonna lie.
Who's snitching now?
I wasn't here. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't here. I I wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't here for the Nebraska game, so I don't have.
I already laid out the parameters.
That personal connection. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody gonna be mad, point it at Jake. It wasn't me. But that's all I got to say about that.
No,
Mars says that he told you he was going to snitch, and you said go ahead.
That's true. He ain't had to go do it. He had to go do it.
All right, I will say you guys must have done a poor job of explaining to the chat what the parameters were.
No, you know what? Chat's always off in their own little
true,
world.
facts.
True.
And I think they tuned in. They saw we were just ranking all these past games, and it's where's Nebraska? The Shedeur was born there. Well, it wasn't a good football game.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you have to be very, especially when you post these things on. Well, did we post it on social?
I did, yeah.
You got to be very clear of like the best football games from a football perspective.
I just thought the best games that the Coach Primera would have.
No.
But like, wait,
no.
like
So you would have been up here campaigning for Nebraska 2023 to be on the top 5.
Not if we were talking about what was the best football game.
that's what we were talking about.
Okay,
Though.
all right.
It wasn't a good football game.
No, it was
In fact,
not.
It was kind of a slog for the first half, and then the Buffs just blew them out in the second half.
exactly.
Jeff Sims was playing quarterback. Like, let's be for real.
Just coughing that thing up,
just
left
throwing
and
it to
right.
Buffs.
I mean, honestly, too, it would have only gone in the 5 spot at best because
For
of what we
sure.
were doing.
It wouldn't have.
I think
Yes, it would have.
No, I'm saying it wouldn't have based on what you were doing. Like it wasn't a good football game. So
Well, but what I'm saying is, if anywhere on this list, it would have been 5, like the last spot. Like it wouldn't have been. It wasn't even a conversation for the first 4 games.
this is the classic like best versus greatest. If his greatest games of the Coach Primera, then you have to bring in all of the other
Exactly, sure.
elements.
Yeah.
Best is if you're just making a pure football. Trying to think what was on the chopping block. See if I disagree with any of those.
So we put the Texas Tech game number 5.
Yeah.
We threw out. I mean, I threw out like the USC game, the Arizona game, North Dakota State game was
The
mentioned.
Arizona State game when Mata hit the game winner.
The Shedeur game winning drive. The K State game.
Yeah.
I
I think that was it. Those are the other honorable
Yeah.
mentions.
All right.
Which
I think it's a good
honestly,
list.
all those were better football games than the Nebraska game.
Yeah. The Nebraska game was not this much is established. It was not a good football game.
Yeah,
So what was it?
therapeutic.
Why do people want it on the top? What do they think? It was top 5 what?
It was meaningful.
Meaningful. Okay. Because of the rivalry aspect?
Well, it's everything. First
Everything.
home game of the Coach Primera, the rivalry, the birth of the Shedeur. Like, that game has a lot of aura. Mm-hmm.
No
It
doubt.
has lore.
No, for sure.
From
came
a
out-
X's and O's, line it up, play football standpoint, it
Yeah.
wasn't anything special other than, just the final score, which even the final score is a little bit skewed.
Yes.
Because we gave up a bullshit garbage time touchdown that makes it look not as bad as it was.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. Max says it was a good list.
That's all that matters.
Thank you, Max.
Appreciate you, Max.
All right, today on the show, though, we are going to draft our. What did he say?
What?
What'd you call the draft?
What did I call it? Or,
No,
Things we loved as children.
we love this children draft. We'll talk about the S&P rankings from ESPN, Walker Anderson, Shedeur Sanders, of course. But we'll start today with DeKalon Taylor. He's been working, man. And we've been talking about him, but I think even maybe not Scotty, but there's a lot of people I think need to pay more attention to what this kid is bringing to the table and what he could do this year for this team.
Yeah, man. I mean, you try not to make too much of a video of someone doing a drill,
right.
but do we have that video queued?
Yes, we do.
Let's just show this, and then I'll give my.
We got 2 of
opinions
them,
on it.
actually.
Yeah, there's 2 of them, and they both gave me the same feeling.
Doesn't matter.
Either
Yeah,
one.
just play him. He's a blur.
Good lateral movement. Them jump cuts. Get vertical. Oh my. Who tackling that?
Yeah.
You can play the next one too, Alyssa.
A blur.
Yeah, man.
The
he's,
spin in the bag too. Coach, say, let's go.
This is the most recent one, I think.
No, this is the
It's
older
flipped.
one.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
the
is
older
it? Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, getting skinny too. Working on getting skinny in between gaps.
His
when you get
feet are
upfield.
so quick.
Yep.
You can tell that boy stay on an agility ladder.
He's been working.
Okay. That's not normal.
No, no.
That was my number one reaction when I saw this, and it's something that I think is my favorite scouting thing. Just moves different.
Yep.
Just moves different. Like it's what I said about Boo Carter when they were recruiting him. Travis
Travis.
Hunter. There's just certain people who the way they move, you're like, that doesn't look right. Doesn't seem possible. Like, is this video in fast forward? What's going on here? And so again, I try not to make too much out of seeing a guy just run through cones and trash cans and slalom sticks. But that's just not normal to be able to cut and move your feet that quickly. And those two videos alone got me really, really excited for DeKalon Taylor.
Yep.
No doubt. I mean, no shade to the Colorado running backs not named DeKalon Taylor on this roster, but don't know running back on this roster move like that.
Nope.
Don't nobody move like DeKalon Taylor, none of those guys. And that is why I was so excited about him just watching his game film, even before watching some of these clips of him working out. I mean, you can see the stuff that he's working on there that we saw in those videos. You can see that translate into
course.
games, right? Getting skinny in between, tight spaces, making dudes miss in tight spaces, with a spin or a jump cut, something like that. This man has like track speed. I mentioned it multiple times on the show. The longest run in program history, 97 yards. He had last season runs of 39 yards, 38 yards, 37 yards. And talking about the Marshall Faulk potential impact on this, DeKalon Taylor had multiple catches in 7 different games last year. He had one game with 5 catches last year. So this is somebody who is capable as a pass catcher out of the backfield as well. The track speed is there, the shiftiness, the ability to hit just a third gear, right? If you give him just a little bit of daylight, it could be 6. And that was, I think, an ability that this offense didn't really have last year in terms of like true speed, aside from, maybe even Travis or, Jimmy. But the ability to just take a handoff or a swing pass and it to go the distance is something that this offense is going to need, and it's something that DeKalon Taylor provides. And I'm really excited about what he's able to do, what he might be able to do this fall.
All last, December through March, basically, when Dylan was going crazy in spring football and everything. This is what we were talking about. Like, if you just give him some more lanes, like there were no lanes to run in 2023.
None.
Everything was closed up. Last year, it wasn't great, but there were obviously some moments for some guys. Micah had some great momentum last season before he got hurt, right?
Yep.
Dallin, he got hurt early too. Isaiah kind of got it going later, and you saw that, there is some life in that run game. It might be fleeting, but it's there. And if they can just block it up, give this guy some lanes with that speed, those quick feet, man, he's going to be a big play threat every week. And then can you scroll up? Stevie had a comment. Said he's so close to becoming
My dark horse.
like my dark horse.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's in dark horse territory.
Oh, he is.
Oh no, I'm saying he's gonna be a major piece of this offense. Like maybe right now you can call him,
Yeah.
but like after week 1, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a lot to do with the game plan, especially the running game. But what Scotty's talking about with coming out of the backfield, catching passes.
This today might be the last day that you can refer to him as dark horse.
I wrote about him quickly in a blurb last week, and I said that he's going to become a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Like, when people see what he's able to do on the football field with the ball in his hands, they're going to be like, oh, he's one of my favorite players on the team. Kid's electricity in a bottle.
Yep.
Multiple years of eligibility left as well. So, and people are quick to bring up Dylan Edwards because of the shiftiness and the speed. Pretty much the same exact measurables in terms of build, both about 5'9", about 165 to 170 pounds. But DeKalon, as you can see in those videos, has a little bit more to him, a little bit kind of more bulk to him.
Yeah.
Which is scary because he's not really sacrificing any speed with that bulk.
I'm just starting to think of all the different ways they can use him. I mean, I think the big one will be that play that's been really popularized in the last few years, which is just the running back just sprints out of the backfield out to the flat. You throw it out there, you get a couple blocks from receiver, and you know, just go. That's one that I think they're going to utilize a lot this year. I think there's going to be a big emphasis on easy completions.
I hope so.
And so that's one. You know, the standard screen, which is something that has been somewhat missing from the offense.
A running back screen? Are we allowed to do that?
Something that's been missing from the offense for the last couple of years. I think they could use him heavily there. But like, even like, let's just imagine Caden's the quarterback. You run that motion of him just sprinting out of there, take a linebacker, and then you just run quarterback draw. Like the threat of having a player with that type of speed and quickness and agility does things to a defense.
You guys mentioning that made me think of something that I kind of saved here that I just came across yesterday, talking about Caden potentially in this offense at quarterback, some of the motion stuff, potentially pre-snap shifts and whatnot. Last year, the last 2 years at Liberty, Caden has had 56% of his plays include a shift or a motion. 56% of his plays. That's 20th out of 134 FBS schools. So like a lot of over half their plays included motion and shift. Last year at Colorado, 22%. That was third worst in all of FBS. 132nd out of 134.
Why?
That's a Pat Shurmur question. I don't know if that's philosophy or personnel, but it was a big part of Caden's success, particularly in 2023, the last 2 years. Shift, pre-snap motion, and it wasn't a part of Colorado's offense at all last year. And that's going to have to change. And hopefully that does change with some guys that you want to get in motion pre-snap like a DeKalon Taylor.
What's interesting about it is Pat Shurmur was killed when he was the Broncos offensive coordinator because he sent Jerry Jeudy in motion on every play.
That's what you're supposed to do.
People were just like, all he does is just go out there and just run cardio because they never handed it to him on the jet or anything like that. And I think that was the main complaint, not the fact that they're actually doing the motion, but it's crazy that was like a meme. Like I'm pretty sure Jerry Jeudy even had a tweet complaining about it one time, like, "Oh, great cardio sesh out there for me today."
He did. He did.
And we went from that to not enough motion at Colorado. So it could have been. You never know. Like maybe Shedeur didn't love pre-snap motion. Who knows? It could be anything. But this year will be really telling. There's no reason at all in the college game to not be utilizing pre-snap motion to help your quarterback know what they're looking at.
Yep.
One more thing too quickly here on Caden that I came across yesterday. He threw the deep ball pretty much more than anybody in college football the last 2 seasons. His deep pass rate, which is 20-plus yards, 25% of his pass attempts were deep. That's third in FBS over the last 2 seasons out of 134 FBS teams. So, bro obviously has that in his bag, the deep ball, and we see that kind of littered throughout his tape and film and whatnot. Hopefully that continues to be a part of offense here this year because Colorado got some receivers that can make plays deep down the field.
All right, we got to take a break. Shout out to our friends over at Lucy Nicotine. You're going to the Rockies game tonight. You have your Lucy's?
I do.
You got to be ready. Whether you're on the golf course, at the ballpark, or doing whatever you're doing this summer, make sure you got your Lucy's on you. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. You can get the pouches, you can get the breakers. You can also set yourself up with a subscription and get it delivered straight to your door. You can get a variety pack as well, and you can try all the flavors they have to offer. We recommend the mango, the apple ice, and the mint. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/DNVR and use promo code DNVR to get 20% off your first order. Lucy does also have a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co with code DNVR to get 20% off. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. I was actually over at the club at Inverness yesterday.
Ooh.
And they have a Breckenridge Brewery farmhouse like built into the golf course, which is pretty sick.
That's hard.
And they've just got such good food at the farmhouse if you get a chance to go over to the farmhouse.
That's a fact.
But we used to always call these on the Bronco Show Breck Brew Friday. Breck Brew Friday is that first beer. Today's Today might be just an all-time first beer of the weekend day.
Oh, today
80
is
degrees out. It's got to be close to our first 80-degree Friday so far.
Low key.
So
With a
get
3-day
yourself.
weekend ahead of us. Whew.
This is probably the warmest day of the summer so far, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. So go get yourself a mountain beach
Yeah.
on your way home from work. Get home, go outside, soak up some sun, and drink a incredibly drinkable Mountain Beach or any of the lovely beers from our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. And you can check out, if you're not in Colorado, where the nearest Breck brews are to you by going to the beer locator at breckbrew.com.
Just wrapping up on DeKalon Taylor real quick, because obviously losing Dylan was that was a blow, right? Everyone felt that one. That's probably one, if not the biggest loss of the Coach Prime era so far to the portal, right?
Emotionally, it was.
Sure. But also talent-wise. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Dylan's a great player.
So I think that because of that, maybe people are a little, I don't know, not as optimistic or not as hyped as they should be about DeKalon Taylor.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just that he's coming from a unknown place where no one's actually seen him play before.
Maybe it's that, but I think there's some, it reminds people of some old wounds too. So,
All right.
Can't forget his return ability, too.
yep.
This is an all-conference kick returner there at Incarnate Word, and he's going to have opportunities, I think, this fall on this team to show what he's able to do in that because, like we kind of briefly talked about yesterday, right? I think for the most part, they're kind of counting on young guys, at least early on, to get those kind of first cracks at kick return and punt return. And if you had somebody like DeKalon who has done it at an all-conference level already, that might be a way you go.
No doubt.
Definitely.
So you guys, I'm assuming you talked about Walker Anderson earlier in the week,
Yep.
UCLA offensive tackle. He went on his visit to Colorado. Alvin Kamara's back in Boulder, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
With his boy Swayze.
Yeah, out there hanging out with Coach Swayze. But Walker Anderson took a picture with him, and he's officially been offered after his visit. So we will see. I mean, if this is your last offensive lineman, someone who's listed at 6'8", almost 300 pounds, 4 years of eligibility, you could do a lot worse than that.
100%. Be a nice ad. He's got some promise. It looks like he's obviously got the size. Clearly, there's some mutual interest there. Picked up an offer right after his visit. It'd be a nice depth ad for the future, no doubt.
Absolutely. Blocker Anderson if he comes here.
All right, it's S&P plus rankings time.
I don't like these.
You're not
Why
going to like
not?
this one.
I don't know. They never fit my narrative.
Well, we'll talk about it. There's a lot of context or lack thereof actually that goes into these.
Yeah.
So again, it's basically an analytic ranking from ESPN created by Bill Connolly, based around three big factors. One, returning production, pretty straightforward right there. Recent recruiting is the second one. It's determined by the past few years of recruiting rankings in diminishing order, meaning the most recent class carries the most weight. It also says this is also impacted by the recruiting rankings of incoming transfers, an acknowledgement that the art of roster management is now heavily dictated by the transfer portal. And then, of course, recent history, just the last 4 seasons. How good were you? So here's the rankings. Post-spring, of course, so it's factoring in the portal. Do you want to guess where Colorado is?
No.
Nothing?
32.
No. 52.
Okay.
They're ranked 52. The offense is ranked number 46 in the country. The defense is ranked number 60. The special teams coming in at 114. Strength of schedule rating is 49th in the country coming into this season. They are surrounded by UCLA and Memphis. That's who they're being grouped in with.
Interesting. Like I said, I don't like these. Never have.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a little bit pre-show. Colorado was pretty high in these going into last season, largely because of the returning production of like Shedeur and Travis. And if I'm not mistaken, this does account for transfers incoming. So like last year going in, they were accounting for LeJonte's previous production and Will Shepard's previous production. And that's why they were, I want to say, a top 20 team in the S&P going into last season. Like Oklahoma State was like a top 5 team because they returned all that talent and whatnot. And obviously with Colorado, you know, and this time around losing a Shedeur, losing a Travis, and all that production, you can kind of see why they're in the 50s mix. But yeah, it's one marker, that's for sure.
One thing that I've noticed, and maybe it's because there's a quarterback competition going on, but like I feel like Caden Salter, who in this case would count for returning production,
right,
is not getting love.
It's crazy.
No, it's just not.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And maybe it is because it's like, well, he's not even for sure the starter, which, as we know, is a good problem for the Buffs to have. Just having 2 really good quarterbacks to compete for the position. But I don't know. It feels like, I think that if only Julian Lewis or only Caden Salter came to Colorado this year, and then the other person who came in was like a nobody that people hadn't heard of.
I agree.
They would, either one of them would be getting more hype than somehow the combination of the 2 of them is getting.
Yeah.
No, I think that's right. I feel like also too, if Caden just would have went anywhere else, he would be getting a lot of hype.
Of course, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Caden goes to Utah.
Oh, exactly.
And Dampier comes to Colorado.
100%.
They're both in the same position.
I think even if Salter went to like Syracuse, where he was visiting after he left Liberty, like they would be like, "Oh, Syracuse had a nice year coming off the Kyle McCord year.
They got an upgrade.
They got an upgrade at quarterback with dual threat." They would be like, "Watch out for Syracuse." And I'm telling you, that's what would be happening.
No doubt.
But he's here, so.
In terms of returning production ratings, the Buffs come in 75th in the country with a 52% returning production rating. The defense is actually ranked higher than the offense. 55%, that puts them 66 in the country on defense. 50%, that puts them 81st in the country on offense. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm not super surprised that the defense is a bit as more returning production. I think I wrote earlier this week that they returned 40% of their sack production last year. That obviously led the Big 12, which is a solid chunk. And then you add in the 3 interior defensive linemen who you added from the transfer portal this offseason, in addition to the guys on the edge that you added out of the high school ranks, like McPherson and London Merritt, obviously. That is, I expect this defense to be really good, and I expect this team to kind of be defense-led, at least early on, first few games.
no doubt. So
They need a big performance from the defense against Georgia Tech.
They 100% do.
That if Colorado wins that game, it's going to be because the defense stepped up and did their part against a really strong running attack and a 100th year senior quarterback.
A running quarterback who this defense has kind of struggled with over the last couple of seasons. But yeah, it's got to be like a 24-13 type game week 1, I feel like.
Yeah.
the Big 12 comes in 3rd in the conference ratings here. So they're above the ACC.
Wow.
Even though the ACC has a higher ranked team, actually 3 higher ranked teams. It's the middle and the bottom of the ACC that's really bringing down the conference in these ratings. They've got Clemson at 8, Miami at 12, SMU at 20. The Big 12's top 3 are Kansas State at 18, ASU at 22, and Tech at 26. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff in here. Let's take our next break. And shout out to our friends over at First Bank. Timeouts are for sports, not banking. That's why First Bank offers you the tools and services to take control of your money wherever you are. With their secure, easy-to-use mobile banking app, you can check your balance, pay friends, and stay on top of your money anytime, anywhere. It's banking that moves with you. And here's something extra. Open a new First Bank account, or First Bank checking account, and you can earn $300. It's a simple way to kickstart better banking and enjoy a little reward for making a smart money move. So if you're ready to take your banking to the next level, check out efirstbank.com/bonus. That's efirstbank.com/bonus to learn more and get started. Better banking is just a few taps away with First Bank. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC.
And shout out to the squad over at UC Health. As y'all know, the DNVR Buff Show is brought to you by UC Health, the official healthcare partner of the Colorado Buffaloes. Learn more about living like there is a tomorrow. Go to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary. And I believe we got a spring sale still going on here on our merch here on the site.
Yeah, go hit up the clearance.
Go hit up our clearance.
There's a lot of Heisman stuff left.
A lot of Heisman stuff.
Go grab that.
That gear is
DNVR
timeless.
Yeah.
It's an artifact.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's evergreen gear. It will never be not cool to wear a Travis Hunter Heisman themed T-shirt.
It's going to be vintage at some point.
I was going to say 20, 30 years from now, that might be like worth some real bread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually make a lot of T-shirt purchases based on 20, 30 years from now. I'm not even kidding.
No, I
like that.
completely believe that.
Yeah.
Where like that shirt you bought at the Alamo Bowl.
Yep.
Like I feel like it could potentially be one of those pieces.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, let's talk a little bit of Shedeur Sanders. Kevin Stefanski went on ESPN Cleveland earlier today, answered a few questions about, like, it's a crowded quarterback room, right? We've all kind of theorized, like, what's going to happen with this. Like, someone's got to be an odd man out early or whatever. And he was talking about, it's obviously a battle trying to get all four of them reps. But he says that, they're just kind of mixing it up right now. Obviously, I don't even know if they're in OTAs, are they?
No.
They just wrapped up mini camp. So there's a lot more to go with the Cleveland Browns and them getting ready for the season. I'm sure they'll make a move at some point, though. But he also said, or told the people at ESPN Cleveland, just his impression of Shedeur since he showed up. Let's take a listen.
Shedeur is a great kid, and whether it's a following that he's earned, I mean, that's something that he's done a great job of interacting with fans. And but he is a great kid. You guys will get to know him more. He's working like crazy, just like all the guys. He's another young man. These rookies, my office is downstairs. As they got to walk by my office as they come in. They come in early. And Shedeur, just like all those guys, he's in there early. He's getting his work done. So he's working really, really hard. I like everything there is about Shedeur.
What a shocker.
There was a little thing in there. You guys will get to know him. That's not something you say about someone who has a chance to get cut.
Facts.
That's something you say about like a franchise quarterback almost. Like,
Yes.
you'll get to learn.
You guys will get to know him. You'll see a lot more from him.
So he'll be around here for a while.
Yeah, for real. I think that was genuine when he said that. Like, he wasn't thinking about like, oh yeah, like this guy could be gone in a couple weeks.
Bro, the way he talked about him at the combine, like he was glowing about him.
Yep.
Like, again, I don't think whatever happened to Shedeur was like the coaches necessarily. I think it was above their heads, whatever happened to Shedeur. Like, I think the coaches, for the most part, really like him. I mean, whatever happened in New York with the Dable interview is, whatever. But, I mean, it's just the least surprising thing, honestly. Like, Shedeur's just a football junkie. He lives, breathes it. He's about the work.
Yeah.
He's about being a good teammate. And a crazy thing, like the little subheader on there is like, does Shedeur's popularity affect the locker room? It's like, what are we talking about, man?
I mean, that's a classic like media thing though. Like the same thing happened with Tim Tebow. Like, and it is what it is. I will say this about their quarterback situation: they do need to make moves.
Yes, they do.
Sooner rather than later. Going into a training camp with a 4-way quarterback competition is asinine.
Not good for anybody.
No, everyone loses. Everyone loses.
Exactly.
So they need to get that down to 3 sooner rather than later, in my opinion. 3 legitimate. I think it's normal to have 4 quarterbacks in camp, but no way that 4 quarterbacks can take a shot at first team reps.
Yeah.
Nope.
And even having 3, honestly, is kind of crazy. So,
especially when you factor in that there's 2 rookies. Like, you got to find out what these 2 have. Like, you have to.
Honestly, like, just cut Pickett and Flacco. Let Shedeur and Dylan go at it, and we know how that will turn out.
Sure.
Regardless.
I mean, we know how it's going to turn out anyway, so.
And Stefanski had another kind of quote from the interview today where he was talking about, he was like, it's not going to be, each guy gets 25%. Like, that's not how anybody is going to get better. That's not how they're going to get better. And that's not how we're going to best evaluate them. So they're going to have to get creative with how they switch up. Like some days it's probably going to be, Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel like splitting like all the reps pretty much.
Yeah.
And some days it's going to be probably Kenny and Joe getting all the reps. And you just got to kind of take it day by day like that. But to me, it sounds like that part at the end too, where Stefanski was like, "I like everything about Shedeur." Like, I don't think you say that in lip service. I think that he's in a spot where the head coach likes him, his quarterback coach obviously likes him because he goes way back with his father and whatnot. And this battle is gonna work itself out. And like you just said, Jake, I think we all know how it's gonna end up.
Of course, man.
By the way, what do you got to do to get a head coach to come in studio?
They're ESPN Cleveland. They probably just get the special treatment, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Sean, don't be doing that?
I guess off season though.
I think Jay Norvell's coming in studio.
Yes,
true.
Yes.
I think the Rapids coach is coming in studio. I think that's it though. I don't think Mike Malone ever did. Now he's a big studio host.
Bro, that was
He's the
a
talk of the
hilarious moment yesterday where he had to say like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have voted for Jokic, woo. And he was like, people back home are very mad at me.
See?
And then Malika was just like, welcome to TV. And I was like, facts.
Yeah, but Michael Malone is a calculated person. I think he knew what he was doing the first time and then realized, I still live in Denver.
Yeah, he's got to get out of town.
He
first.
picked up his phone after the show like, oh,
Yeah.
damn, what have I done?
All right, ready to draft?
Let's get it, bro.
Ready, Alyssa?
We already do the draft?
Huh?
Oh, I guess we're going comments last. Okay. I'm so used to doing draft as the final thing of the show.
You guys wrap up. You do comments before and then do draft on Broncos.
I don't know.
Okay.
Feels like yes, but I don't know.
It's either you or me going first.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I feel like childhood pastimes.
Well-
we tried to figure out a way to make this work. Scotty said childhood pleasures. That wasn't gonna fly.
Hold on. There was Alyssa started a comment on the draft. Someone had a question about it. Okay, here. Do you want to explain this?
For the draft, things we loved as children that we still love, or things we loved as children that we don't anymore. I don't think that there has to be any delineation there.
Okay.
It can be either, but
I'm more so thinking. When I proposed the idea, I was thinking of like things that when you were a kid you loved, like you look forward to, and like it sticks out in your mind as now an adult of things that you loved as a kid.
Okay.
And you might still like it now, or you might not like it anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, that was
All
kind
right,
of my thinking.
I'll go first. This was actually something that was brought up on the Broncos draft today, and it was shut down because it didn't fit for that draft, but it definitely fits for this draft.
Okay.
Give me summer break.
Oh my God, bro, that's crazy. I was gonna say the last day of school before summer.
It's still on the board.
Nah,
Still on the
I
board.
think it's too soon. But go ahead. That's a hell of an answer.
So,
for sure.
so on the Bronco show today, we drafted summer things,
okay.
Yes.
and Zach tried to draft summer break,
Nah.
and we were like, "No, that is the draft. Like
facts.
you're
course.
using the word in the definition."
No doubt.
All right, Scotty.
By the way, I was thinking about it when we were on the Bronco show, but like summer break, like that starts today for a lot of kids in Colorado.
Yeah.
I think that's the top feeling.
Yeah, vibes are just beyond immaculate.
I don't know if there's a better feeling than knowing that you don't have to do anything for 3 months.
Yep.
Like I specifically remember the last summer that I had no responsibilities,
No doubt.
and I romanticize it in my mind so much.
It's just such a feeling, bro. Such a feeling. I'm gonna go on. I would say the last day of school before summer, but it's just too close. So I'm gonna go something kind of summer related here, and King Mars is actually kind of on it right there. Just going to the pool.
Yeah.
Going to the pool as a kid was like the coolest thing. Like playing football in the pool, like, you know what I'm saying?
Remember
Like
those
man.
skippy balls?
yes,
Yes.
bro.
Those were so sick.
That was like you literally could spend all day at the pool, G. And
Yes.
that was I love that. I love that.
Love that.
I think Tate said mine. That's snow days.
Oh,
You get a snow day, bro. It's not quite summer break, like last day
Yeah.
of school, but it's
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, I get a random day off. Like, that hits.
yeah, for sure.
Was that common in New Mexico?
Well, actually more often than you think because it
Really?
snows a quarter of
1
an inch
and they're
and it's,
canceling.
yeah, we're
Oh.
canceling school.
So yeah, Colorado's the opposite of that. Like,
So was Chicago.
it's got to get crazy.
facts.
But it was the ones in high school especially were great because you had like cars and shit. So you know, I know we would just like go drive to our friend's house and hang out there all day, even though the
I
whole point was
remember-
to not drive.
Like my junior or sophomore year of high school, there was like a crazy cold front that came through New Mexico, like froze a bunch of the pipes and stuff. So they closed all the schools for like an extra week. We had like an
Oh.
extra week.
Did they make you do makeup days?
I can't remember at
There
that
was
point,
one
but-
year, one winter where we got like 8 snow days, and they were like, if there's one more snow day, it's cutting into the summer. So then we were all like, no more snow days. No more snow days.
Facts.
Oh, I guess I go again. Then yeah, it's just, I don't know, riding the bike with the friends, bro. Just out there. I mean, this is like a 90s kid thing, but you're like
Yeah.
riding the bike down the street and you just see all the bikes in someone's yard. You're like, oh, found them.
Here
Like,
we go, yeah.
Y'all ever played like cops and robbers
of course.
on the bikes? So
Yeah.
fire.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
fun.
What was that one game, Manhunt or something like that, where it's like, it was like a full like city hide and seek, but it was crazy.
Oh, we played that in high school too.
Yeah.
That was
I'm not
sick.
familiar with that one. Hey, real question, kind of related to this, but not really. Y'all, of course, played a game when y'all were young.
Uh-oh.
Football, one football, everybody has to tackle.
Oh yeah.
What did y'all call it?
Smear the.
Okay, that's what y'all call it. Too?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Because I've heard other people like call it different names. So I'm like, no, that's the actual name. The one you said.
Yeah.
For sure. Just make sure we're on the same page there. I'm back up. I'm gonna pick something that I know my boy Jake can relate to here. A new video game. Like when a new video game drops, like when that new Madden drops, or like the new Call of Duty come out, or you feel me? That especially as a kid, that was when the new NCAA came out. That was just an elite feeling. And don't let it come around summer, like where you don't got school and you can just play the damn game all
Oh.
day. That was the best feeling. So like when a new video game that I've been anticipating comes out, that was an elite feeling. as a
First,
kid.
Red Dead Revolver. Bought it. Stayed awake from literally the second that I sat down until the next day at that same time, and then I beat the game, and then I was really sad because I was just like, I just spent $60 on this game and then used it for 24 hours, and now it's done.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks.
All right, I'm gonna go. I guess I'm sticking with the summer theme here, but summer camps. My favorite when I was a kid was CU football camp.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly. But like the idea of like getting around a bunch of kids and just like playing sports or doing whatever, capture the flag. Like this one camp I would go to, they would take us up in the mountains and we'd literally play capture the flag. Like there's like a mountain this way and a mountain this way. One team had that mountain, one team had that mountain.
That's
We'd
sick.
like go and like hide behind the trees. And so yeah, I have tons of good memories of just, they were mostly all sports camps for me, but those are the best.
Tate low-key dropping some gems in here. But that is true, Detective's Truth. That was another one, too. That was another common one for that game. It was called Kill a Man. A lot of people call it that one, too.
All right, I go up again here. I'm going to just do sleepovers.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Slept
Especially
on.
like when you have
pun
like
intended.
like someone has a big basement and you get like 80 of your friends there and
Oh, it's Friday night. You've been
Yeah.
waiting all week.
yeah, exactly. You're ripping video games and we used to play this game called Slap Ball, which you'd set up a goal on like one side of the room and a goal on the other, and it was just like one-on-one kind of like hockey with like this like dodgeball, and you just like smack it to try to score on them.
Yeah.
Best.
I'm back up. I'm going to say this is kind of, I don't know.
Wait, really quick on sleepovers. Were you guys both like carte blanche, like you can have a sleepover whenever you want?
It depended. It depended whose house. Like I had a best friend growing up in elementary school. I could just go over there whenever, stay there whenever. At our house, it depended, but
Yeah, no, it was a whole process you had to go through.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, it was a whole process.
Allie was like, she's like, I think I can count on one hand how many times I did that when I was a kid.
That's crazy.
I was like, for me, it was every night of every weekend,
Yep.
Hosting or
one or the other. And like, I had so many friends that like lived in the neighborhood, so it's not like there was like a big production. Like,
Yeah.
that's dope.
I mean,
we're at someone's house on Friday night, someone's house on Saturday night.
in high school, I was just everywhere. I don't even think my parents knew where I was half the time.
He was one of those, huh? He was outside.
I was, bro. It was lit out there in the TR, bro.
In the what?
TR, Taylor Ranch.
What is that?
It's where I grew up in Albuquerque.
His hood, bro.
It
Sounds
is.
sketch, bro.
It is now.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, people are throwing some really good ones in the chat. I'm
What
not
the
gonna
hell,
lie.
man?
Actually,
People need to chill for real.
I'm gonna say something that's I feel like people feel really strongly about this either way, but Dippin' Dots,
Oh yeah,
the ice cream,
Of course, bro.
Like
fire.
people. I'm glad y'all agree because a lot of people feel a certain way about Dippin' Dots and they don't like it. But like when I was eating Dippin' Dots as a kid, you knew you were probably at an amusement park. You were having a hella day. Probably some pool was nearby. Like if I was eating Dippin' Dots, I knew it was a great day. And Dippin' Dots are just fire too. So I love Dippin' Dots.
You guys know where like 29th Street Mall is in Boulder?
Yes.
That used to be like an actual mall.
Yeah.
And that I remember the first time I had Dippin' Dots there, and the slogan was the ice cream of the future.
Yeah, I
And I
remember.
just remember being like, wow, this is
This is gonna take over real
Yes,
ice cream. The whole world's just gonna be eating Dippin' Dots in a few years.
Bro, that the Isotopes games in Albuquerque, they'd always give you a little helmet with them.
Oh, yeah.
I was just collecting the helmets, bro. I didn't even care about the Dippin' Dots, honestly.
dang ice cream helmet hits.
Tate is honestly cooking in the chat.
Yeah, he
and
is.
And he
He is.
just put one out that I gotta steal it. Field trip day, bro.
Yes.
Field trip day. I mean,
True.
I don't even care where we're going.
It didn't
Honestly.
matter. No school. We good. We not in the classroom. Cool.
Did my homie get his permission slip signed? That's all I need to know.
Yes.
For real though.
I got another one. Okay, Scotty said new video game. Can I just say Halo? Does that count?
You're just naming a video game, bro. I don't think that counts. I'm not gonna lie.
Halo was like a era, bro.
I think video games are kind of off the board, but if you want it, I think you can have it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. I don't think it really.
I'm not
helps
taking
your
it.
case.
I'm gonna take building blanket and pillow forts.
Ooh, building a fort.
Oh, I'm back up, ain't I? Mm-hmm. All right, so this is another thing that could be unique to me, but in school when we had like gym day, like PE, like we had that once a week at my school, like in elementary, and I feel like when I grew up like people, I realized that like that was an everyday thing. People had gym or like PE every day, but
See, Cam knows.
We had it every day.
you said what?
We had it every day.
Yeah, I feel like that was a common thing, but I didn't have that every day. So like we had it once a week. And first through 8th grade, Chicago Public Schools, we had it once a week. So like that day of the week was always cracking if we had gym. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know.
Especially with all that food they got in Chicago. We need to get you guys active more.
It was kind of crazy, but like we had like a different uniform that day, you know what I'm saying, for like gym or whatever. So like it was like a cracking day. So like I'd mix like gym / like fair day. I guess you could kind of like put that into the same kind of category, but that'd be it for me.
By the way, what age are you like thinking of yourself as when you're doing this draft?
First through 8th
Elementary
grade.
school.
Yeah, elementary, yeah.
What did you say it was called?
You can just say like gym day.
Just say PE.
PE.
Days where you got the like you
Banners and
The
stuff.
parachute day?
Yeah.
Oh, parachute day was
Nah.
lit.
Really?
No.
You never played with the parachute in the gym?
No.
Two different things. Field day. Did you guys have field day?
What is that?
Like everyone, there's like all these competitions. Everyone competes. You try to get like ribbons. So there's like tug of war. There's like
No.
3-legged race.
No, we didn't have that.
Where did you go to school, bro?
I went to a Chicago public school, bro. CPS, baby. Chicago public schools in the city. First through 8th grade. But yeah, it was different. Yeah, recess is probably, recess gym. That's what you could have wrote to, recess. Kinda the same
Recess,
thing.
okay.
Recess, yeah.
I never got to go to recess because you couldn't go if you had late assignments. so I missed like years worth of recess.
That's a good one, Heaven's Demon.
Goosebumps.
This one is on the edge of like the age limit here, but I definitely was doing this in middle school, and you said up to 8th grade. One of you said up to 8th grade.
Yeah, I did.
Sneaking out.
Never did it.
What?
I told you I could just go.
Well, yeah, that's,
Bro said
that
I
counts.
have to sneak out.
Like I was just gone.
What- look, I'm talking like, what was just going for you? Like, did you feel like you had to be quiet when you left?
No.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
could just say I was going to Sam's house and I could do whatever I want, basically.
But this is like midnight, 1 a.m.
I'd plan it out and be at Sam's already. And
trying
then
to
do
like
whatever.
meet up with some girls in the neighborhood. That was electric. And like the thrill of potentially getting caught just gave it a little extra
You did that quite a bit.
every weekend.
Damn.
At my parents' house, it kind of was like what Jake was saying though, because they went to sleep at like 7, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And so they would be
It's gone.
REM sleep by the time I was leaving the house. And then like we could do, like we didn't have like any like beeping doors or anything, so I just like walk out the sliding glass door in the backyard and I was out. Oh, and I got another one here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, ice cream truck.
It's a good one.
Hearing that sound, everyone in the neighborhood.
Spurting outside.
Yep. Looking for your quarters. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was your go-to at the ice cream truck, though?
Choco Taco.
The either like the SpongeBob or one of the like with the gumball like eyeballs.
SpongeBob was always looking crazy.
He
coming.
was.
For me,
When
yeah,
he was melting, bro, he was hurting.
for me, yeah, it was either the SpongeBob or the strawberry shortcake.
Oh, the one with like the little crumbles on it.
Yeah, a hit every time. And don't let it get a little bit soft too. So fire.
You ever tried the Choco Taco?
I have not. I have not.
It's fire. It makes you wonder why ice cream hasn't been presented in that form more often.
I'm dead.
Instead of a cone, it's a cone taco shell.
Facts. I am going to my last one here. I'm just gonna go with, I guess, kind of the one I said at the beginning. That last day before summer, last day of school before summer, to be specific.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, did y'all have a thing where like, what would they call it?
Ditch day.
No, where you had kind of like a book and
Oh, yeah,
like the last
yearbook.
day of school. Yeah. Oh,
You signed your yearbook because you had like extra pages on it to write.
yeah. I guess you're right. But you got a yearbook after every year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, yeah.
What? You?
Yeah, what
see,
do
not
they
called
do
a
to
Debbie
y'all?
Allen
It's
book.
different. I feel like it wasn't. I feel like if my sister watched right now, my parents watching, we called it something different. It wasn't called the yearbook because I feel like I didn't get my first yearbook until like high school.
In
Yeah.
high school is when they started making them like hardcover, like Guinness Book of World Record style. But
For sure.
before we just got kind of like a flip book.
Yeah, but that was one of the best parts of the last day of school. Yeah, everybody in your class like signs and
Have a
whatnot,
great
leave a little
summer.
message. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hack ass. Or what was it?
Have a kick-ass summer.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Well, it was like, how many girls you had, sign yo day, woo.
I
Yeah.
got her number.
Yeah.
She wrote a number. I'm like, yeah, this summer about to be crazy.
Yeah.
That was always a vibe for sure.
With my last pick, I'm between two. Wayne said to pick hide and seek. That's a good one. I kind of want to pick going to the toy store though.
Damn. I feel that.
I can see that. Toys R Us used to like be that spot, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
There
saying?
used to be a Toys R Us in Boulder, and
Yeah.
we would have to drive past it every time we went home. And I would just be like, "Can we please go? Can we please go?"
Yep. I didn't even have to get anything.
No, I just want to
walk in.
look.
For real.
Yeah, going to the
Just
toy
the
store.
vibes.
Give me the toy store. Rip Toys R Us, right? They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
When extinct.
That's our
Dang.
draft.
Got any honorable mentions? Alyssa, you have anything pop into your mind?
Chill, Wayne.
What'd you say?
Wayne really wanted me to pick hide and seek. I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's got to be an honorable mention, honestly.
The one thing that sucks about hide and seek is just like being alone, like in some like laundry room or something, just sitting there for 20 minutes.
Hey, you know
Bro.
what was the best? I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
So I grew up in West Albuquerque. That was all like being developed when I was growing up. Like even the high school I went to was brand new, basically. So we'd play hide and go seek in like the new developments out there, like these like unfinished houses and stuff.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
You ever step on a nail?
No. Thank God. But we played like.
Oh, going to McDonald's
playpen?
place.
Yes.
McDonald's definitely used to be like the spot.
But we played the whole neighborhood when we would play hide and seek, basically.
Bro, back in the think about how nasty the ball pit was.
Oh, of course.
No one cared. I think we all were stronger for it.
Yeah. Builds character and
and immunity.
disease resistance.
Although, do you remember? I don't think this was always there, but they eventually had like a cleaning system
Yeah.
for the balls.
Really?
Yeah, they would like cycle them out.
Yeah,
and
they
then,
take
like,
them
clean
all out.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they mentioned hide and go seek, you know, it was low-key the best game to play like in school, like in class. Yeah, I remember Heads Up 7 Up. Hey, I used to cheat like a
Hey, just look at the shoes.
Like, what shoes is I'm on his ass. That was the funniest thing ever, bro. I love
What's
that.
funny is you thought you were being slick as hell, and I
Right.
know your teacher
The
saw
teacher
you.
was like, look at these bad. It's cheating.
oh man.
That was a classic game.
Honestly, like going to the mall,
Definitely.
I did that pretty much every weekend. Yeah, that was like one of my main things.
it's crazy to think about like when you're a kid and you just need to do things. You're just like,
Yeah.
drop us off at the mall.
Yeah.
Like, let us walk around.
No, didn't even have money half the time. Like,
Nope.
don't even spend money. Like, just maybe to eat, but like you just walking around the mall all day, just walking, vibing.
Try to holler at some girls.
Literally.
Do we only have a couple minutes left, Alyssa?
We do have nuggets at 2:15, so if you want to go,
Aw.
we can, but not by then.
I wanted to answer the F1 question.
We can do that.
Answer it.
Shit, now I got rid of it.
Well, it was like I need to pick an F1 team
No,
for
it's- oh yeah.
RK. He needs to pick a Premier League team for me, and then Scotty needs to pick both.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously just gonna have you join me on the Leeds train.
Sure, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's my team.
Let's go. They're already at the bar.
Right. Yeah, that's my squad.
Are you gonna be a Lewis fan and root for the red team?
But that's not your team.
No.
I feel like if you're gonna support my Premier League team, I should support your F1 team.
Yeah.
We're a
I
unified
guess.
front over here.
Yeah, we are.
I'm just a Max fan though. He just happens to race for Red Bull right now.
So you're not a Red Bull? I mean, you literally
If
love
Max
Red
went
Bull.
to McLaren or Mercedes tomorrow, I'd be a fan of that team.
That's giving me like LeBron energy.
I mean, it's easier to root for the drivers
And
than
that's
the
making me
teams.
rock with them.
All right. Well, I don't know if I can rock with that, but I'll be a Red Bull guy. But I'll be loyal even if he leaves.
Monaco's this weekend though. Best weekend of motorsports in the calendar year.
Indy 500 this weekend.
Indy
right?
500, Monaco Grand Prix, and the Coke 600.
Did I tell you guys I got invited to a NASCAR
Yeah.
race?
Yeah, we're going.
Right?
God, I cannot wait.
Let's go. I'm serious.
I'm growing out my hair in the back. It's happening.
Do it.
My dad asked if you remember your favorite grade school teacher.
I do.
What was her name or his name?
Miss Zimkowski.
That's a teacher name right there.
Miss Qualia was her name.
What? Miss what?
Qualia
Qualia.
with a Q, yeah.
I remember the ones I didn't like more than the ones that I
Oh,
did.
same.
Some of them really just had it out for me, bro.
Sure, man. Sure. No, same, bro. Same. These damn teachers. My favorite was Miss Gator, man. 5th grade teacher.
Gator?
Miss Gator.
Damn.
It was spelled G-A-I-T-O-R, though.
Okay.
Legend.
That's still lit.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to think of some other ones. I remember a lot of like my high school teachers, but that's only 15 years ago, as it turns out.
I mean, my high school teachers were the best.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I remember the most.
I feel like I might actually remember more of my elementary school teachers than my high school teachers. Now that I'm
I
thinking
feel like your
about
high
it.
school teachers have much more of a chance to like have a lasting impact on your life.
Bro, I went
Yeah.
out, I like partied with one of my high school teachers one time in college. It was dope.
That's the most New Mexico shit I've heard.
Ooh, come on, a block party a block party would have probably made my made my list if I could remember that. Yep, a summer block party.
Define that for me.
Let's say overtime real quick.
Overtime. If you're watching on your television, head on over to thednvr.com. We're going to wrap up the show.
So a block party is when you pretty much you block off the block, like you get, signs or like stuff from the city to like, actually block off the block from cars. And then pretty much everybody on the block is just outside on the block that day.
That's
and you
epic.
have like food and like kids games and that type of thing.
They don't do that in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
Super chat from Lawrence. Thanks to Buffton Prime for a breakdown of the running back. I feel good knowing we have Leftwich in the background. All eyes on Shermer. Who are the stars on this team? You know a
I
lot
think
of
those
them.
are pretty well defined.
Draylon, Omarion,
Jordan
Seat,
Seaton.
DJ, Seats,
Yeah.
Juju. Did you watch Juju's video of him graduating?
No.
He's him, bro.
Graduated high school in 2.5 years, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane, bro.
If he was just like if he was not a football player and he graduated high school in 2.5 years, people would be like, this kid's a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phenom.
What are we laughing about?
Wayne's just going crazy today.
Wait, that boy Jake the Snake. The Meat Loafers, I told you, they in this same club together. The Meat Loafers Coalition can't take them boys nowhere.
Being a kid is sick.
I miss it.
Miss it.
Yeah.
At least we have a pretty childish job.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
for sure. Anything else? We're off Monday, by the way. We are taking the holiday off. So 3-day weekend. Hope y'all enjoy it.
What does this say
Don
from Don
Peasy
Peasy?
says, I DM'd RK about NB omission.
Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska omission, but he has been ignoring all of them lately. Guess he's too good for
Shaking my
fans
head.
now.
That boy
Wow.
Hollywood now, shaking my head. Boy, get married and get to acting different, don't
Here's
he,
the thing,
Peasy?
man. This is just it's gonna sound like I'm pumping my own tires, but I have so many DMs and I have to be in a certain mindset to actually read them.
I'm with you, bro.
I was like, I just have to sit down and be like, all right, I'm gonna go through all like 40 of these DMs and respond, and then the longer I wait, the more I get, and the
Yep.
less I want to do it. So
Yep.
you're right, it's on me.
Yeah. I always knock them out in one fell swoop. Just boom.
Yeah, me too.
Anything else?
That is it. Let's have ourselves a weekend.
Let's get it.
Yep. Enjoy your holiday weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday.
Approach your weekend with childlike joy.
Yes.
There you go. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.